Welcome back. Gotta love the horn. Love Boat Project, episode number 46. I'm your host, Mike Taylor. With me, as always, my co-host, Mike Robertson. Ahoy, Mike.
Can you believe we are in the final 5 episodes of the season?
No.
It doesn't feel like we've been doing a whole season, and yet here we are, the last 5. We're like under 20% left after we're done this one.
I think when the episodes are this good, it just flies by.
There's still 19 seasons left.
Yeah, still like 19 seasons left. Yeah, we're not even...
Yeah, right.
I don't want to do fractions.
We are... but we're basically 50... I think we're like a fifth done, depending on how IMDb counts. I think we're about a fifth done. Maybe less.
I don't know if that
Maybe in the off season this year, I will actually count up the episodes so we have an actual number. So.
We need one of those ones like Major League had when they had the owner, and then every time they get closer, they take off a piece of clothing. I'm not saying clothing, but I'm just, something like that.
It's just Stubing socks, though. It's Stubing socks.
Stubing.
Yeah.
We are here to talk about The Love Boat, Season 2, Episode number 23, titled Funny Valentine, The Wallflower, and A Home is Not a Home. Ooh, original air date on this masterpiece was March 3rd, 1979, back to a normal air time of 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. So...
Thank goodness.
Nothing.
Yes, we're out of sweeps, right? So
we're out of sweeps, and the other thing is, it's funny to me that this is essentially a Funny Valentine is the first story on March 3rd.
Yeah.
Like, did they just miss a line here?
Well, they also if you remember, because we ran into this when you and Amin both watched, the episodes are flipped in certain spots.
Yeah,
and then also. They never actually say Valentine in the episode. So I do wonder if this was like some sort of like they just tacked it on to the title.
Close enough.
Because it's not Valentine's. Yeah.
No.
Right. Yeah.
It should be close enough to Funny Valentine.
Ash
early
Wednesday.
March.
Like
March a time.
Yeah, what's an early March holiday?
In
Maudie
like a
Thursday.
lion? In like a lion, out like a lamb?
Yeah.
A time? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, because the Liberace Valentine's Day special, I feel like was like a month, like more than a month ago.
Yeah. I have a fun note about one of the writers and the thing they did right before this episode, which was also Valentine's Day themed. But I have a whole bit on writers that I'm not sure when we'll put it in there. Maybe we won't, but big writer episode for names we know and people we're just meeting. So
excellent. Well, let's see what else was on. 8 to 10 p.m. on CBS. Now, this isn't a TV movie. This was listed as a movie, just to make that distinction.
8 to 10 is an odd time for a movie.
And that's what I thought. And I wish I would have looked at 10 to 11, because, like, what do you put on? Why would you front load a 2-hour?
It's not like CBS.
It's a weird lead up.
CBS has been the far more inconsistent 8 to 9 or 10 to 11 around their movie, basically, so.
I do think it's funny that they're not even putting up original programming against The Love Boat.
I wonder if they've given up. I mean, listen, we joke about it, and the season feels like it's been going on for years, but like the American Girls was this season.
Yep.
That's where they started. And that's been going for months.
Apparently everybody's watching The Love Boat. Like, it's really just...
Well, we looked it up, right? It was the highest rated show on Saturday nights this season. So,
was it averaging like 14 million viewers, which is just blows my mind. Think of the eyes on the ads alone. Just crazy. Movie Across the Great Divide. 2 orphan children try to cross the Rocky Mountains to claim a farm in Oregon, which they have inherited. Robert Logan, Heather Rattray, and Mark Edward Hall. That sounds like a pretty...
Wow,
I'm sure there was
name.
bears in it, wildlife adventures.
So, first, what is the obsession with 1978, 79 TV producers, and Colorado. Why are we going through Colorado again? This whole year has been through Colorado.
They love like the American frontier. They love every week there's something. Yeah, I don't.
Man.
Centennial.
Good for those orphans, though. That's a real rags to riches.
Well, at least, I mean,
if they make it.
If you were a type that was casted, constantly casted in these type, you were the cowboy type. They were living large. Like, I got so much work. My name's Cookie.
Yeah,
I got all this work.
Joe Lando is killing it back then.
Oh, that's funny. On NBC, from 9 to 10, The Rockford Files.
Always.
Episode titled "Never Send a Boy King to Do a Man's Job." Great episode title. Wow. Not as good as episode 45 of the Love Boat Project, I will say, but yeah, that is a great title.
That was a great title.
Rockford and his pal Richie Brockelman. That name just rolls off the tongue. Devise an elaborate Brockelman. Well, it's funny you say that. Devise an elaborate scheme to get Richie's father's business back from the hands of gangsters. Fun fact, Mike. Always gangsters. A Richie Brockelman spinoff was created called Richie Brockelman Private Eye. Boy, I spent a lot of time coming up with that. Created by the great Stephen J. Cannell.
Oh my goodness.
1 season, 5 episodes.
Not
a hit for Stephen J.
Do we happen to know who Ricky Brockelman was?
I looked up the name. Nobody.
He might as well have been in The Great Divide or whatever.
Yeah, so. I mean, his 5-episode long series is a bit of an indication.
He's got a satin jacket with Ricky Brockelman crew.
It's Liberace plays Richie Brockelman. Hello. It's time to solve a crime.
Yeah.
Let's get to the synopsis of this Love Boat episode. IMDb, gold standard. Shy singles Sylvia and Monroe keep missing each other. I have something to say about that. Sylvia is a shy single. Monroe might be a serial killer.
Monroe?
Monroe? He might honestly be a serial killer. They labeled him as being shy. We'll get into that. That's a little... Yeah. Retirees Ned and Molly are followed by their meddling offspring, Rowena and Francis. Oof.
Yeah, they took a swing with Rowena as a first name here.
How about a good look? Give me the name of a good looking couple, Rowena and Francis. Ooh. Fortune teller Mary Louise may be a fraud, but Merrill finds her charming.
Yep, and he also found her a fraud.
And a fraud. Yeah. He didn't know what to make.
No. Stubing ended up being right.
Yeah. Oh, he was 100% right the whole time, but he wants to believe in magic so badly that he can't.
Yeah.
The Monroe thing, I wouldn't say shy. Monroe, he was a bit of a stalker.
It's the thing where it's like... It's like if you're the guy at the party who doesn't know how to talk to women, you would act like that. You would stare and hope that she catches your eye, and then you could say something. But like, it was creepy.
I just don't know if the definition of shy means I've spent several $100s on you know what I mean?
We'll get into the
exactly. I don't want to
logistics of that.
Yeah. I don't want to ruin that part, but just I just want to note the intent of a crazy person.
Yes. Yeah. Well, Monroe Minkus, or the hell his name is.
God. Just the worst.
They really make sure that those nerd characters have nerd names.
Oh, Monroe Mundy.
What was
it? Just rolls off the tongue.
What was Billy Crystal's character? It was like...
Oh, it was some weird...
Like Nathan or like Norbert.
Ned. Or something. Was it Ned or it was just...
Yeah. So.
Guest stars. We'll start with Warren Berlinger as Francis Dunkmuller. Tons of movie appearances and commercials. This guy was in a lot of different things. One of those
but
people.
but nothing that really was like the
Mm-mm.
thing, right? But he looked
No.
so familiar. Guarantee you we've seen him in 50 things, but
Oh,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
absolutely. He was just had, but nothing like
a lot of
Eleanor.
Constanza energy out of that
I
guy.
agree. I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of like neurotic
yeah,
sort of.
bawdy,
Like
like
it wasn't a shock that he wasn't married. Like nobody's married Francis. Like, come on. Eleanor Donahue as Rowena, no last name for the character.
She's not married.
She was on Family Knows Best from 1954 to 1960. She appeared on Different Strokes as Mr. Drummond's fiance in season
What?
1. What you
What?
talking about, Eleanor Donahue?
Wait, he had a
Yeah,
fiance in season 1?
season 1. It didn't work out. It was some
Also,
kind
how
of,
old is she?
well,
Easy, Phil.
well, well, how old was he, the actor? And I
I mean,
think they could make that.
he
Oh
looked
yeah,
a lot
he
older
was like
than she
24 and he looked 70. Like, what was this? Yeah,
we
Mr.
need to
Drummond.
tune in. I need to tune into Different Strokes Project to get some scoop on that.
Yeah, we need to we got to stop working in those silos with these different projects.
We got to come together as a
Yeah.
group.
We'll see Eleanor Donahue again in season 5, 6, and 9. Samantha Egger as Mary Louise Murphy. Again, tons of movie appearances, but nothing like starring Samantha Egger.
I thought she was very good.
I thought she was great. I thought she was good.
Yeah,
I thought she
I
was
really
perfectly
did.
cast
I
too.
really thought she was good. Yep.
And we'll see her again in season 4. Patty Freeman as Sylvia Carblanca. I couldn't find much on Patty Friedman.
No.
I'm sorry. And we'll see her again in season 5. Like, not much out there. Yeah. Arthur Godfrey as Ned Dunkmuller. You know what's funny is they give Ned a last name like Dunkmuller, but they don't give Rowena like Rowena Clark. Anyway, it's just in the early to mid 50s, Arthur Godfrey was heard on radio and seen on television up to 6 days a week. He was everywhere.
Yeah. He is one of those names. I don't know that I've ever heard or seen anything that Arthur Godfrey ever did, but I'm very familiar with the name. And you listen to his voice and you're like, yep, that makes sense that he was a huge radio guy. Like, he's got those pipes, so.
He was everywhere. Known as the Old Redhead. Big star. Zane Lansky as Monroe Mundy, sort of. Monroe Stalker. Mr. Lasky, lots of sitcom appearances in late 70s to early 80s. Again, no...
He looked like a poor man's Harry Shearer.
That's funny. That's funny. Just that extra...
Yeah.
Minnie Pearl as Molly appeared at the Grand Ole Opry for more than 50 years. And on Hee Haw, this is going to blow your mind, from 1969... Do you have a guess? How long was she on Hee Haw?
Only because I was doing some Minnie Pearl digging this morning. I know, yeah. So
91.
Yeah,
I didn't even know Hee Haw was on till.
I think it moved to the Nashville network. She apparently had a bit on the Nashville network on every Friday night when it first started. They would have let Minnie Pearl steal your joke, and people would submit jokes, and there would be like a contest. So
wow.
I saw the Minnie Pearl statue at the Ryman Theater in Nashville before we went to breakfast at your highly recommended pancake place.
House of Pancakes. That's no joke.
I thought she was outstanding. There are a couple pieces in here that I think are great, but a fun Minnie Pearl fact that I stumbled upon.
Who's Millie Pearl?
Yeah. Millie Pearl is her sister. It's like the guy that. The denture woman. She's got a twin sister. Minnie Pearl in the late 60s had a chain of restaurants.
I did read that. They wanted to compete with KFC or something, right?
Yeah. So I was looking for the menu or a commercial or something like that. There was a Minnie Pearl's chicken and a Minnie Pearl's roast beef. So I found a 7-minute documentary on YouTube. This did not go well. Sounds like they were trying to franchise and they were like, I don't know how nefarious it was, but they were getting ahead of their skis, like basically saying there will be 500 franchises within the first 3 years. So people were like buying on spec and buying property and all that stuff. Well, they only ended up building like 40 of them.
Sounds an awful lot like the Kenny Rogers.
Well, Kenny Rogers Roaster was a lot more successful, I think. The funny part is the people who were running it had no idea how to make good chicken. They just figured they would figure it out, but people would go once and then they would never go back. So
because they didn't even want to make chicken. They're like, how do you make money? How do you fry money and make money? And they're like, no. We have to make the chicken first. Yeah, but we want to make money. And I'm like, oh, Lord.
There was the tagline, though, for her chicken place was, howdy, delicious.
Oh, ever since you said the chicken, I kept thinking of like, how do you market the howdy? There you go.
They got it in there.
How delicious. Wow.
It's not Captain D's.
Nothing is Captain D's. It's a great little seafood place. That's what Captain D's is. It's amazing.
If anyone that listens to this ever went to a Mini Pearl or Millie Pearl's chicken restaurant, please let us know.
Yeah. Or a Captain D's. Just let us know. Just spread the word of D's.
We've been to a Captain D's.
I love Captain D's. Dory Thompson as, way to think outside the box, guys, as Dory.
What the hell was Dory Thompson?
Dory Thompson? What's that?
Who was that? The blonde?
Let me go back and see. Hold on. Give me a moment.
There were some weird credits in the IMDb on this one.
Yeah, that one was weird. Let me go back to that one.
As you're doing that, so Didi Khan or whatever, the squeaky girl from Greece, was listed in the IMDb credits. And at first I thought, oh, she's Sylvia. But she's not Sylvia, and I don't think she's in this episode. So IMDb just, giving us people who don't exist.
It is the blonde. Yeah, which I don't really know.
She's the only person who had speaking lines, really.
If she got a...
No, that wasn't worthy of...
No.
She didn't get a portal. No.
No. She was listed in the IMDb
I didn't know
credits.
that she had a name, though. So she gets a name. And
she gets a name.
We've had multiple people not have names that
Remember
had
stripper
story
one,
arcs.
and
the gift shop lady.
I forgot about the gift shop lady.
Never forget the gift shop lady.
The woman who bought pearls. Yeah. Don't forget her.
With the best old category coming up, you remember her when you're filling out your ballots this year.
That is true. Anything else to go over before we get on the boat here, Mike?
No, I think we can save the writer's bit because that can fit probably better towards the end when we have context. But I will say, just for the those who don't know, the stories this week were written by two complete newcomers who never wrote another one ever again.
Oh, really odd. That's weird.
Fred Grandy and Bernie Capel.
Yeah. Which one did they do?
They did My Funny Valentine.
Okay.
And Barn Jolson. And we'll get to that.
Oh, no, don't. Boy, they've just been...
I don't know.
Okay, I don't know if we can compute like a batting average for them, but it's slipping.
So they wrote the Wallflower one, which is the Sylvia storyline. And I knew this going in, and I was looking for it. And the first watch, I'm like, okay, that's fine, passable. It's a single. Whatever. Yeah, nothing great, nothing inspiring. We wouldn't think twice about it.
No.
Whatever. But then you watch it again, and there are just some unexplained leaps and logic gaps again.
Well, there's some cuts, some inconsistencies with camera work as well.
And the thing about Barr and Jolson, and I think we gave them the most credit for last year, is they were the ones who actually did kind of have switcheroos or like surprises or and it was just like they have just mailed it in this year. Mailed it in.
Well, the fact that they brought him in for to make sure everything, big picture story wise sort of matched up with these other big things. Like, I don't know why. To me, that's like your anchor leg in a relay. Yeah. You should be able to count on them to throw together a good Love Boat story. We're missing one this week, and they should be able to knock it out of the park. They just can't.
And nothing has reached the heights of last year for them.
No.
Nothing.
I think they're just overconfident. That's what it is. Send them to the American Girls. Let them get
back on that.
Let the Iron Sheik humble them.
You should be relegated.
Exactly.
What's the There should be a secondary boat, like a launch.
Yeah.
The
you
launch
go right
boat.
to the White Shadow. You go boom.
The love launch. That's
the loveless dinghy. Enjoy that one. All right, well, let's get on the boat. Molly arrives with her man Ned. They are madly in love, and they seem to be having a fantastic time as they're walking onto the boat. Fantastic time.
Couldn't have been happier. And here's the thing. We talk about this all the time. This is a couple that showed up together.
Yeah.
That nonsense
we
coming
love to, no opportunity to, be interrupted by a moon expert or any kind of creepiness going on.
Right, exactly. A ghost.
Right. Anyhow, a few minutes later, Molly's daughter, Rowena, no last name, arrives with Ned's son, Francis. The two are concerned that their parents ran off from the retirement home and have come to take them off of the ship. Julie, way to respect the privacy of your passengers, Julie. Oh, they're in blah, blah, blah. Except Isaac points them in the wrong direction. Gotta love it, Mr. Washington. All right.
So, couple things.
Yeah.
So, first of all, these two, they don't go hard on it, but they kind of make a point that they don't necessarily know each other, like each other. They're only familiar with each other because of their parents.
Right. Big wide strokes.
So first question is, did they arrive here together? Or did they come
just
separate?
Dumb coincidence.
Okay, sure.
Oh, Rowena. Oh, Francis.
Second of all, Isaac sends them off. I guess their plan is to grab their parents and pull them off the boat before
throw them in a bag and throw them over their shoulder. What are they going to do?
Before it sets sail. But Julie says they're never going to make it in 5 minutes. So they are entrapping these people.
They're stowaways. You should put them in the brig.
But I'm sure nothing will happen, right? I'm sure they'll get off the boat before the boat leaves.
They're fine.
The princess would be bankrupt if people knew that you could just kind of mosey on and hang out for a few days.
Well, if you're only charging $35 per cruise, they should be going bankrupt anyway. But I do agree that
the cruise is not
Lucy.
This week.
They're not running a tight ship here at all.
The cruise is not expensive this week at all. We have the magician doesn't even count. The palm reader doesn't even count. They're booking her. We have a Gopher's neighbor, and you figure Gopher lives in a slum. Two old people who cashed out their retirement. What's your retirement plan in 1979?
It's just, these two possibly are on the loose, escaping from an assisted living facility somewhere in Southern California. By the way that their children are acting. The other thing is that palm reader, I don't even think she had a cabin. I think she slept in that suitcase because you never saw the room. She slept by the pool,
but she didn't take it with her.
I don't know. She left it. I'm like, where you going? There's your house.
God, she should have come out half, like the Great Briar's trick. Her legs should have come out first.
I bet you she knows him.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, she knows him.
Oh yeah.
Gopher
and Doctor.
Those carnival people.
Oh yeah. They're Gopher and Doc are busy hitting on a blonde woman when Gopher's nerdy, uncoordinated neighbor Sylvia comes on board with her glasses where she should be able to see things in Massachusetts. These glasses were so big.
They are large. They are large frames. She definitely is setting up for she's all that.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, remember that show they had? I think it was on Fox. I think it was called the Swan or something like that. And then they would take people and then they would force plastic surgery. Like, well, we're going to break 3 of her teeth here just to make her mouth smaller. It lasted 4 episodes. I feel like,
the thing is, they did the glasses thing later, but they didn't do the follow-up glasses bit, which is her struggling to read something or walking into a wall.
Right, you're talking to a wall.
She had those giant glasses for fashion reasons, I guess. So.
She likes full coverage on her face behind glass.
Yeah.
Okay. She bumps into a man who seems taken with her, but Sylvia ignores him. I guess she ignores him to find Gopher and say hi. Yeah. Gopher doesn't seem too happy that she's on board.
Keep your mouth shut at home, Gopher. You won't have these problems.
No kidding. Well, when is he home?
Do you think I was thinking about where Gopher lives? This feels like they live in a very small apartment complex,
Oh, everyone has like
right?
a studio apartment.
Yeah, like there's no way it's like a house or even a big apartment, you know.
No. And I wonder if he has that giant poster of that lady from that model from the other week in his room.
Cheryl Tyson.
Because maybe he has bigger walls. Or it's like a Cheryl Tyson
Maybe he has
museum.
smaller walls, and that's why he's always staying in this room.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Um, apparently, Sylvia has saved all year for this cruise, $39. Gopher welcomes her, and she goes on about how romantic the ship is.
They're excited about it.
But can you call a ship romantic if you're by yourself?
I think that, and this started with the scuttlebutt thing. We may have talked about this last week, where I think the word of mouth that this boat is where love happens is in like the advertising.
Yeah.
I think the Princess line is like, okay, this is our hook. The Sun Cruise is where you get a lot of sun. So it's like we haven't heard of a third one yet, but I think they're very literal. So
Let me ask you this, right? So let's say they had a Yelp back then or a Travelocity or an Expedia.
yeah.
I wonder what the rating would be based on reviews of people that sailed on the Pacific Princess.
I think it depends on what you're going for. And I think that's probably means not a good Yelp rating, right?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. If it's just based on facilities. Yeah.
If I'm a person looking for love, then theoretically this is where I want to be. But also that's we only see at most 3 people get together every week.
Hey,
so.
It's right. It's not a big ratio. Yeah.
Right. If I'm somebody who likes the cruise amenities, except for Joyce Brothers, we don't really. I feel like the cruise amenities have actually gone down this year. There's been more theme nights, but less activities.
Yeah, well, and also some of those theme nights are not very consistent, as in last week's half-ass Mexican night, where they just had like guacamole and like a white dude with a chef coat.
They were saving up for Carnival.
I guess. Well, yeah. If when you say save, if you mean let's place a mannequin at the entrance of the restaurant with a sombrero on his head. Yeah, that might be cutting corners.
That was last week.
It's terrible.
Week.
I'm just saying we're setting a tone.
Carnival week, though. Carnival.
Oh, yeah, it's Carnival.
Yeah, it was great. There was stuff everywhere. Julie, you son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch,
done it again, McCoy.
Damn it. Another theme. We see some burly gentlemen bringing in 2 giant trunks on board. Nosy Stubing reads the note attached. Exclusive property of Madame Maria, internationally known fortune teller and palm reader. Appointments only, acquire within. Oh, voila. A woman named Maria pops out of the trunk. Ooh. And somehow she's good friends with Julie, which
that makes
I don't
sense.
know.
No, you know what? That made sense because that felt like Julie post Stanfield runs into this like group of misfit women. Like I'd watch that show.
Yeah, I'd watch that show.
Like Julie hangs out with the palm reader, and there's probably like a scam artist and Nancy
all
Lieberman
ladies.
Klein. Like it's just all these people in there.
I could see that.
Yeah.
What was her name? Billie Jean King. She'd be on there.
Who's like, I'm trying to think of who a good Joan Jett.
Joan Jett would be on there. Lily Tomlin, but only in that giant chair. She would be on there.
I would watch the Julie prequel.
Oh,
where she meets all these. And I'll say not Karen Maynard. She was kind of a dud.
She was a huge dud.
But I will say, last year we talked about the fact that Julie got all the female stuff, and so therefore made her look insane. They need to keep bringing in these friends because it takes some of the weight off of.
Yeah, they're just pawning off some of her crazy things that she does.
Although this one's pretty straightforward. This one, so maybe it wasn't as crazy.
No. Yeah. She's introduced to everyone and is immediately attracted to Captain Stubing. She offers to read his palm, saying everyone has a romantic future. Of course, Steubing's got to get all serious and say, my romantic future is behind me. And he walks away. Come on, bro. Come on, Steubing. Wait, why so serious? It's just...
It does seem like he's either not interested in love at all, but when he is, it's a two-step process. It's I'm devastated by prior love, and now I'm into this current love. But it's fraught. So
I did think that, and the other thing that got me was I don't think he trusts any sort of soothsayer. Get away. I don't trust. I love magicians. I love this, but soothsayer... Or maybe he's just I don't know if I should trust you.
You're right, though. He's really into illusions.
He loves magic. And
what's the difference?
I have a thing on that later, too, about Captain Steubing's favorite things.
Do you think that it was a big week for the hand model and card props again this week? We had 2 cards for that.
Yeah.
We have another one for the flowers coming up.
Love it.
I feel like they got a pack of 3x5 cards this year, and they have to use them all. It's like medical insurance; you got to use it by the end of the season.
I'll tell you, they made a fatal flaw in hand close-ups this week that I caught.
No.
Yeah. Ticker tape, Mike. We get a season 1 ticker tape scene in season 2.
It was a lot.
It was clock is ticking. That's why
I do find them more charming this year because they're not the be-all end-alls.
Well, what I liked about this one specifically is that in the scene immediately after, we see Molly and Ned. They go into their cabin, and they have ticker tape on their shoulders.
Oh, old Ned got nailed. He was covered.
Yeah. But I love that. Maybe it's dumb. Just give me that. That's all I need. Just a little continuity. I
think it also sets us up for what we've talked about, which is some of those will actually have a bit of a story relevance. Yeah. Not exactly sure how, but No, I'm fine with it. Doesn't have to be every episode. Doesn't have to be every storyline, but I'm okay with it. So,
they're both excited to get going on this adventure. Oh boy, a couple of buzzkills are at the door. Old Rowena and Francis. They show up and immediately kill whatever buzz Ned and Molly have. Mwah, mwah.
So here is and this is where I'm going to give the third writers, the writers of this storyline, a lot of credit.
Mm-hmm.
As we have already talked about, Minnie Pearl's catchphrase is howdy, but it's very loud, right? Howdy and all that stuff. Everybody knows it. Even in 1979, you would know it. These two come into the room, and Arthur Godfrey's like, oh, God, here they come. We're going to be super crowded. And she says howdy. And she says it.
It was great.
Half-hearted, right going into the act break. That is
She's a
that
pro.
Doesn't happen in this show. That is so good. And it's such a small thing. I really was impressed by it. It really made a big difference, I feel like. It makes you feel like, okay, I feel smarter for watching this.
Well, she's in the character. She's imagine if she would have said dynamite, like J.J. Walker, you know what I mean? Just, but if he had said it, like in an earnest way, dynamite.
Nobody else has gotten to use their catchphrase, so I was very impressed by that.
I did too. I made a note about that. I really loved the delivery of the line, just like you're saying. It just added so much. It made me feel like that we were looking at Molly. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just thought that she was really bought into the role. I like that.
Well, and it's that thing where I don't know how people thought about stuff like that in 1979.
She did.
But it is a little bit of an Easter egg, and it's great. And, it's like... And sometimes nowadays in current stuff, it's almost too much.
Yeah.
Like it's not Deadpool, right? You don't need it to be every reference. But so shout out.
It's good to see her get her stuff in.
Yeah.
Shout
out to the two writers.
Yeah, that was good.
John Hanrahan and Tom Dagnes. Dagnes was a huge cartoon writer.
Interesting.
He had story credits for Heathcliff and Shirt Tales, and he did a G.I. Joe where Flint and Lady Jane had to stop Cobra's hurricane making machine or something.
There was a G.I. Joe growing up when we were kids. It was, and the character's name was Snow Job. What are you doing? What are you doing naming a kid's toy Snow Job? Are you kidding me? I never knew how funny that was when I was a kid. Like, what are you doing? I'm just getting, me and Snow Job are going to go play it out back. Like, excuse me? Who? Snow Job.
Yo, Joe.
Yo, Joe.
So,
Yeah.
the thing he wrote before this, his last credit before this Love Boat episode, was he wrote the TV movie Popeyes Valentine's Special.
Ooh. That can't be that hard to write, can it?
Yeah, Brutus shows
Bluto,
up. Olive oil.
and,
Yeah. Isn't that like every episode of Popeyes?
Yeah, it's the same
basically?
thing. It's just this story happens in mid February. Like, I don't know, is the vulture lady there? Gopher shows Sylvia to her cabin and tells her, "Hey, put on a swimsuit. Hey, put on a swimsuit and meet us on the Lido deck." Okay.
Well,
Doc says,
to be fair,
he felt
Sylvia
bad.
was kind of being like, I don't know. I guess I'll just stay in my room.
I'd have been like, all right, you know what I mean? Whatever. It's your cruise too. Boo boo. I'm out.
I couldn't at this point. I wasn't sure if they were going to do the thing where she was into Gopher, but that's
where I thought originally.
Yeah, so I'll give him credit for at least avoiding that. But
yeah, Doc says to Gopher, "So Sylvia lives next door to you. Must be a quiet neighborhood." Doc was great this episode. These little, I love background Doc. Madame Maria is now reading palms on the Lido deck. Again, when you see the scene, it is a windless Lido deck outside on a cruise ship.
Yeah. Well,
there's lit candles in a pool on a moving cruise ship that aren't moving. No wind.
You know, we never thought about is the route. Are they taking the Sea of Tranquility?
Is that next to the windless passage? Like, what does that mean? You just have to be really quiet when you go on that, or there's no wind?
Waters are tranquil. They're still.
Oh, that would add up. Mm-hmm. That's probably what the writers are like. Nah, Sea of Tranquility, dude. Don't even worry about it.
We have a map. Look,
we got it. I bet you that map's in that big book of shipwrecks, dude. Captain's always talking about.
That's all North Carolina.
Yeah. Awful. Stubing takes off his hat. She freaks out.
Oh, she's into bald dudes.
She's into bald dudes.
Yeah.
I didn't know that this was like a thing. Which I still not convinced it's a thing.
You're going to start getting your palm read?
I know, like, hey, read my palm. She says that he has a great-looking skull and that that he should never wear a hat. She also says he has a great smile. Oh, boy. It's never good when you see the captain of a ship blushing. Oh, dude. Like, be above it.
Yeah. Would you feel great if, like, you were getting on an airplane and the pilot was getting his head
like
rubbed
all shucks in it? He's all shucks, kicking his foot sideways. Can we get a different captain? Maybe one with confidence, please?
Yeah.
And I put Stubing has pretty much turned to Jello at 9 minutes and 31 seconds into the episode.
Yeah, he is not equipped to handle someone who performs at a carnival. He's just not built that way.
No,
so that's a doc game.
And, I think like a lady could so easily run a scam on Stubing because he's just so simple.
Listen, I'm half surprised this didn't end with Murphy having the boat, like how Han Solo got the Millennium Falcon.
How'd you lose it? I don't know. I woke up on the Lido deck and my captain's clothes were gone, and I was
wearing Paul Williams's clothes.
Finds himself swimming home. The Sea of Tranquility, which wouldn't be that hard because it's not rough.
The pool on the Lido deck is filled with ice because she stole his kidneys too.
He has no organs. The only thing they let him keep is his pancreas because of all the donuts he eats on a daily. They're like, we can't use that. Swollen
and his socks
pulled straight up too. That's the first thing. Even if his shoes were stolen, he'd pull his socks up immediately.
Oh yeah.
He's
They'd
company
roll up
man.
like the Wicked Witch of the East.
Oh yeah, yeah. Just Sylvia arrives on the Lido deck as ordered by Gopher. She's covered in a hooded robe with her giant glasses on.
Yeah.
And this is where I thought like the romance thing, because he like takes her hood down, and I'm like, that's kind of and takes her glasses off. Which what are you doing, dude?
It's not weird to wear the hood to the pool. Your kids have those.
Yeah, it's like a thing.
Like, it's not that weird. Like,
Right? It's not weird.
Yeah, it's like,
He walks out. He's like, "Why aren't you naked?" Like, what are you talking about, dude?
yeah. And listen, the glasses bit is a thing as old as time, but
you know it's setting something
if
else
anybody ever
up.
took my glasses, I would fall into everything immediately. So
Yeah, it's not even there's no ha-ha about it. Like, why would you take this woman's glasses? She can't see.
Right, and it is kind of infringing on your personal space. I mean, you're taking my glass, like you wouldn't take my earrings out, like so.
No, because then you're relying on somebody else. Like, yeah. So she asked for a club soda because she's getting crazy. Gopher goes to the bar when the shy man / creepy man she bumped into at the check-in comes around. He stands right next to her and says not a word. Creepster. Nope.
Yeah, that's I'd like to think I have not done that at a party, but I know that people have done that at parties, and it's a weird move, but I guess I get it. So,
well, and now I'm thinking, well, I'll get to that. The crew who are still at the bar try to yell out that a man is right in front of her, and they're yelling at her. There's a man right in front of her. That she's just not a
lot to do this week, I guess, for the crew.
No, they're all sitting down at the bar. Yeah, like what is there? There's no when there's time to lean, there's time to clean. No, we're not doing that. Okay.
Yeah. No.
Ship has set sail. Rowena and Francis need to find cabins, but everything is booked. Uh-oh, Mike. So, looks like they're in a big old room too. That is, so I don't know why. Why would the rooms have cots in them when it's?
Why is it an option? You have stowed away on the boat.
Hit the road.
So are they making them pay even if they end up sleeping in the parents' room? Like,
but it's almost like if you and Michelle got on a plane, right?
Right.
And I go, without telling you, I'm going to join them on their vacation. Like, final boarding call. You guys are in your seats, comfy. Here I come. No. Mike and Michelle. They're both on this plane. I'm just gonna sit on somebody's lap. What?
Well,
no, you have to pay for.
Right. It's unfair for the
right.
It's unfair for the princess line.
Well, it's unfair for the people around them to have somebody else like.
And here's the thing. Like, I theoretically could have pulled this move and gotten free passage to Acapulco.
Right.
We haven't really figured out how food works in terms of like signing anything.
It's not like they don't have bracelets on where they have to scan or a number on their hand or anything.
My place in Tampa, we always used to joke because they had all those like they had those random couches and everything, is that you could probably live there for like a year without living there because there were enough places to like sleep and eat and stuff like that. So it's the same idea. It was the most egregious. It was the most egregious version of we have not only do we not have security, we have no way to prevent people from doing this.
Well,
like I would do this all the time. Why would you pay?
Every week I'd be on that boat. Well, the other thing is they don't have anything. They don't have any clothes. They don't have any toiletries. They got nothing.
They have
with
a
them.
change of clothes
Underneath, maybe they doubled up.
I guess he could have bought a tie. There are clothes. As we see later, you can get a lot of stuff at the gift shop.
You can get a lot of stuff at the gift store that we never in bulk. It's almost like a Costco now down there. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Can you suit the stubby gentleman, please?
They're like, oh, we just happen to have a suit just in Francis size. It is a. We go to our first break. We're back. Sylvia's trying to find her assigned dinner table, and I want to yell, put your glasses on. You can find it if you put your glasses on. It's very simple. Like, There's a rose at the table with a note from a secret admirer. Here we go. Inconsistencies right here. So we see Sylvia holding the rose.
Right.
Her nails are pink.
Oh, no.
Then they kind of cut to a different angle that's more of a close-up of her hand holding the note so you can see the note. Her nails are not painted. So,
wow.
I'm watching. So if they're doing this to see if I'm paying attention, I'm paying attention.
Well, it's not like Bear and Jolson were so busy writing a good script that they couldn't be in charge of continuity.
No. Yeah, usually if you have a close-up of two painted nails in back-to-back, sort of like how would you? But whatever.
Maybe it's a style. I mean, she did have that
one nail painted. Maybe.
Well, that hood jacket was rainbow, so maybe she's into multiple colors.
Or maybe she quickly wiped the paint off of her nails, like
yeah,
and then this episode brought to you by nail polish remover.
Also, index cards.
Index cards. So Gopher was the one who sent the rose to Sylvia's table in hopes it would loosen her up to talk to some men.
Where does Gopher get off being in charge of confidence after, what was that, 2 weeks ago, when he literally couldn't put a sentence together to talk to Haley Mills?
Well, the other thing too is
Get out of here, Fred.
Yeah, just stop. Just mind your own BYO. Mind your own beeswax, Fred Grandy. That's just
leave her alone. Yeah, leave her alone.
We're at dinner now. Ned orders crab cocktail
it would have made more sense.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it would have made more sense not to do a rewrite, but it would have made more sense if she comes on the boat and she is interested in Gopher. Gopher's not interested.
Yes.
And so Gopher sends the flowers to get her off the trail, and then everything else happens.
It's somebody else. Well, because that ties in the whole fact, she lives next door, I roll, that sort of thing.
You could have finished it the way you did, but...
Well, you just, like, frame it with, like, I got to get her, like, off my back.
Right. Exactly. And it turns out Monroe wants to get her on her back.
Monroe. Monroe. Yeah, it could have been like a reverse Pepe Le Pew type situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you wouldn't have to move the whole thing. It's just like a piece. But this is where Bear and Jolson used to be good, and now they're not.
But it would have been funnier. It would have been funnier.
Would have made more sense because there's really no reason for Gopher to do what he did.
Well, even if he did it, he could have felt bad, and he got that chance for him to, like, Heart of Gold go there. It was an opportunity missed here. At dinner, Ned orders crab cocktail and hearts of palm. That's a very strange order to me. Not a big hearts of palm fan, Mike.
I don't even know what that is.
It's exactly what it's like, the inside of a palm tree, but it's like edible.
Oh man!
But it's a part of a tree, and like they usually sell it in like a jar.
You know who doesn't eat that? It's Burl Smith.
Burl Smith's not eating it. Francis isn't eating that garbage either. Francis wants some meat and potatoes.
Yeah, you already got fried.
Yeah, I don't. Francis said it's too much roughage. I've never heard somebody say that's too much roughage for one meal.
Oh, well, he was very prissy until he got drunk.
Well, look at him. He was,
and that guy
like Charles Atlas.
Well, I was going to say that guy. Any roughage is too much roughage for Francis.
Yeah, keep those vegetables away from me. Like, he is not in
leaves of green, let it be.
Exactly. I have, no veggies on vacation rule. Come on. Which is a real rule for me, by the way.
I've seen it. I know.
Yeah, I'm not. Then he orders Chateaubriand.
Yeah.
But Francis and Rowena both say it's no good for their parents' digestion. Just a couple of buzzkills. Like, why are you here? We're on a cruise.
Yeah, Michelle my wife was watching, half watching at that scene, and she's like, "Oh, these guys are the worst."
Yeah, they're terrible. Rowena says their tum-tums would get upset. Direct quote.
Yep.
Molly's not having this. Don't take wine out of Molly's hand.
Nope.
She tells the waiter to bring everything Ned ordered plus 4 bottles of wine. So if their tum-tums get upset, they'll be too bomb to care.
Yep.
I got to tell you.
Love it.
Let's have dinner with Molly. Like she's
Oh my God. Well, first of all, I think we have had dinner with Molly.
Well, we know a couple Mollies.
You may have dinner with Molly a lot.
Yeah, I might be married to Molly. Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah, wow. Very Molly-like behavior. Missy and Molly.
She just needs a hat.
or just a price tag. And an index card that says howdy. So,
howdy, right.
I wrote on here, I said, this seems like a very hee-haw type of move.
Yeah.
Give me my bottle.
Yeah, except it's not like a bottle with 3 X's on it, like a jug.
No,
but
it's not idea. Shine.
But it's funny because, was I pulling this apart with a fine-tooth comb the first time I watched it? No, of course not. But when I first saw it, I was like, oh, she just wants a lot of booze. But it actually is a plan. It's a brilliant plan.
It's a brilliant plan.
So
you got to get up pretty early to get one over on old Minnie Pearl.
Minnie Pearl, that's right. Unless you're a chicken proprietor. Besides
then back away. And now I want to say that all I want to do is hear her say it's dynamite, like Jimmy Walker. I would just pay to hear her say that now.
If she did Hee Haw for 26 years,
you think JJ Walker was on there?
Or they just did a takeoff. Like, there's got to be there's no way she never said dynamite on that show.
I hope so. I just really, I would love to see them in a Comic-Con together and be like, Minnie, just say it.
My favorite Hee Haw joke is not even a Hee Haw joke. It's from The Simpsons when they did the knockoff with Colonel Homer. And it was Yeehaw. And it was like, found my wife in bed with my friend last night. And the guy's like, you bit her? Yep, bit him too.
That's terrible. That's terrible. That's a very hee-haw That's a very
it's a great Simpsons episode.
Buck Owens. It's Carnival night on the Lido deck again outside. A windless night. There's a spinning wheel, floating pool candles, signs that say "Try your luck," test of skill, and game of chance. There's a ring toss. And there's not a lot of room for a balloon popping booth. The balloons are basically 2 inches in front of your face.
You're getting one right in the eye.
Right in the eye. God forbid one bounces back. Don't hit the staple. Another windless night on the ship.
Well, you got that wheel that would just be spinning out of control, and the can.
Oh, you can't.
But I tell you who. You know who does not like Carnival night?
Who's that?
With all those candles in the pool? It's Loretta Swit. Yet.
Yet.
No, thank you.
She'll just breathe some of that vodka on it. She can't have that. On the Lido deck, Francis and Rowena are getting hammered while complaining about their parents. Again, back to Minnie Pearl's brilliant plan.
Yeah.
Worked like a charm.
I will say, Francis, a little more overacting on Francis drunk than Rowena's drunk.
Francis may have been drunk once in his life. He is just...
Francis is cartoon drunk. He is...
He's... they completely forget to pay attention to Ned and Molly, who are having the time of their lives at a balloon booth. Apparently, they've never seen a balloon booth. This is great.
Well, I mean, that might not have existed back in the old days. The last balloon they saw was the Hindenburg.
It's probably scary. No. It's okay. They're small balloons, not filled with fuel.
You're not getting okay. Fine.
You're gonna be okay. No risk of inferno. We're good.
Oh, the humanity!
Oh boy. Despite the Lido deck happening around her, Sylvia's sitting by herself by the pool, weirdly caressing the rose, like she had never seen one before. The stalker is about to sit down.
Precious, she's
it was very much. It was Schmiegel. It was Schmiegel on there. The stalker is about to sit down with her when Gopher sits and tries to cheer her up. They agree to go dancing in hopes that some handsome man will cut in.
Which, again, I don't know if that's a great plan either.
No.
You know how cut-ins work around here. It really just depends on who's on the boat.
There's no rules. There's no rules. People just cut in.
There's no scumbags on this boat this week, so nobody's going to cut in. So.
Have you ever cut in? not to dance with like somebody you're with after somebody else is dancing. Have you ever done like a true cut in?
Probably not.
Like
I would say probably
unexpected?
not. I don't even know. Honest to God, unless it was like a wedding where you probably know the people, I don't even know how many opportunities I would have had to cut in. It's like I'm going to a lot of dance clubs anyway, and if I am, I'm probably clinging to the person I'm with. So
I was at a wedding, I mean, years and years and years and years and years ago, so before, and I tried to cut in. There was an attractive single lady at this wedding, and she was like slow dancing. I was beyond bombed, and I was just like, "Excuse me, I would like to cut in," and they both just looked at me, and then just went right back to what they were doing. I had to do the walk of shame off the dance floor.
I think that's the other thing too. It's a high risk, high reward move.
I was swinging for the fences. I was a singles hitter trying to hit over the fence. It was my own fault.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough.
That is a confidence thing. If you're that confident to not cut in on somebody you already know, like, oh, hey, mom, let me, you know what I mean? Like that sounds like a real.
Like, at my wedding, I don't think I was dancing with the bride, but somebody was, and then a couple other people. I think Bobby got in there, but it was just like, but then it ended up being like 5 or 6 people all dancing at once. But that doesn't count, right?
No, no, that's not a true cut in. That's like almost like one of those fire drills where you jump out of your car. It's like an organized.
Yeah.
You know, that's more of a sport.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess you're right. That scenario you're bringing up though probably is the one spot where you would try it because where is that much organized dancing happening
with
that
like
you can cut in
or something or a family member? But I'm talking a non-relative at an event, a true cut in.
No, definitely not.
You know,
that's impressive that you did that. You're not what I would call in that demographic. So.
Oh, it was not the same version of me that you're talking to now. I was on 20.
That's fair.
And then right after that, I was on about 4. So it was terrible. Then the climb back to 20 began. So. Steuben goes into Maria's palm reading booth, which is shocking because he doesn't trust soothsayers or he loves. He
goes in with a dude,
just ready to shut it down. Turns out she's terrible at reading palms, and she pulls out a chart. And Steuben is not impressed. He's like,
the chart thing was funny. The chart thing was funny because it was like oversized.
Yes, it was right. Like, how did he not see it when he walked in the tent? This giant, 16 by 16.
How big is that tent? That tent got a lot of space on the deck.
They gave her a lot. There's not room for the balloon toss, but Madame Maria gets like all this stuff. Room for art to hang on her
filing
wall.
Cabinets back there.
There's a bathroom in there. It was ridiculous. Isaac's in a tiny bar.
Yeah.
Singing Dream Girl. Says she's nothing but a fake. And I wrote, he does love illusions and magic. He's just disappointed because the bubble was burst. He doesn't get to see magic.
That's true. Yeah, that is true.
Doc is using his newfound palm reader skills on a passenger.
Dory.
This is that one, Dory.
Yeah.
It doesn't go well. She tells him that she'd like to get a second opinion. Wah, wah, wah.
Which might be the first time we've heard that somehow to Doc.
I agree. You'd think that would be like the standard.
Yeah. Because it's not like he never gets shot down.
No, but he didn't care. Like he does not care. A shot. He doesn't care.
He did a Jack Benny at the end, but that was about the extent of Doc caring. On to the next one. So,
Francis and Rowena have to be helped back to their cabin by their parents, and they both pass out drunk on a cot. Somehow the head part. Yeah. Can you break down the logistics of this? Wouldn't all the blood rush to his head? Like, I don't know how you would sleep like that. The cot is
in the middle of the room. I guess they set it up before they went out, but they didn't really decide how it was going to go. And Francis kind of gets a bit of a stumbling start. And I think the actor was trying to hit the bed in a normal way. And I think he overshot it. And, there's no time for a second shot on the Love Boat.
It's not in the budget.
He takes that thing so hard.
Yeah, I was wondering
so high. He's lucky he didn't snap his neck off.
It went right into that, and there was no room. Like his head just went like this. It could have, either way.
Oh my God, it was amazing. He went down like a dart.
Well, then you saw the actress, the Rowena. I was like, well, how is she going to lay on that?
Yeah,
and I think she just
kind of. But found
unless they had a Francis stunt double, maybe it was a quick cut.
Honestly, as we start to prep the ballots for the stubbies, that's going to be in the consideration for best moment because that was such a ridiculous fall.
What happened to Francis? He broke his neck in Act 2.
They just got to write around it the rest of the episode.
Maybe we see a slightly different looking Francis. Like it's his brother who's not a twin, but just kind of looks like Francis.
Monroe.
He's a little bit taller. The taller
Monroe. We're changing the story. You're in this one now. So
Jim J's here, ecstatic. I'm ready. Doc Gopher and Isaac all walk Sylvia back to her cabin. How do they have nothing?
They had nothing to do this week.
Nothing to do.
Isaac had a little bit to do, but the rest of them had nothing to do.
What? It was everything on cruise control. There was no Pirates Cove. There was no bridge. There's no walkie-talkie. There's no sticks.
No, and you would think I guess the carnival night maybe writes itself. Like they don't have to do a lot, but
I don't know. There's no parachuting. There's no anything this week.
The captain of the goddamn ship woke up 5 minutes before he had to be up there. So
that's a whole nother thing too. It shows you where his Sylvia comments that the rose must have been a mistake. Way to see that your glass is half full and she's not cut out for romance.
Some people just aren't cut out for
romance. Stop holding your nose, Sylvia.
I thought the glasses were pinching, but I guess not.
What are you allergic to? Roses and shy people. Imagine that. She just goes into anaphylactic shock when she opens the door. She opens the door to her cabin.
My hood is actually an inhaler, you asshole.
Oh, why did you make me a jacket made of carnations? Damn it. She opens her cabin door and the room is filled. And I mean filled. I started to count and I said, why bother? I mean, talking
oh God. Well,
over 100 easily.
The room itself is a room we've never seen. Like
they made the room bigger.
They certainly did. And it's like very dark. It's just roses, but there are roses everywhere.
Everywhere. They're coming out of the turlet. They're coming out of light switches. Like there's just, it's comical.
It looks like
of roses.
It looks like Wrigley Field, except it's not ivy. It's roses.
And again, the act of, hold on here. Putting that many roses in somebody's room, right? That you don't know. Is that not the act of a bit of a psychopath? Like maybe there's healthy stalking, but this seems a bit unhealthy.
So do you think
at first glance as a woman, would you be like, oh, this is great, or as a man, whatever? But then you're like, oh shit,
it's overwhelming. I mean, it's an overwhelming display of affection, and I guess you're clear from the allergy because he saw her get roses already.
I guess.
But if you're not clear of that many roses would have killed somebody that was allergic. It would have killed that twin. One of the twins was allergic to roses.
That gift house, the gift shop has quite a greenhouse in the annex.
Right. So there you go. So, okay. So you're going to tell me that either they keep so many fresh roses on the boat, like,
or he came on the boat with them
of roses. No one else has bought any.
None for years.
Apparently,
like those are generations of roses.
Or are you like sending these off like how you get scuttlebutt? Like, is it like we got some launches coming with fresh roses?
Maybe you pre-order.
Like the Princess line just made payroll for the next 3 months on Monroe's credit card.
Oh yeah,
what they could have charged for these.
My feeling is he had these in his room. He was just waiting to give them to somebody. He brought them with him. Like this crazy stalker. Let's just say he's a florist. And he just brought suitcases of roses with him.
That's
probably
smart.
Not plausible, but
that actually makes sense. They should have all been flat.
All wrinkled, bunch of wrinkled roses. What is this? I don't have a proper. And then I'm thinking, looking at this room, I'm going, where the hell is she going to sleep, Mike?
Yeah, no, it's a lot. And like the five crew members are not doing anything this week. Meanwhile, some poor bastards had to haul all these flowers back and forth. Like,
well, none of the crew members had much to do except for that one cleaning lady who had to clean up after that frickin' Yorkie from last week. Just stuff everywhere.
That's a good point.
Oh,
God.
Because that dog held on, but the Swiss cheese is only going to hold on. You know what I mean? Like there was a... Oh. Boy, man, why does your purse smell so bad?
God.
Terrible. After the carnival is over, Maria decides to sleep in a lounge chair on the Lido deck because I think outside the box, or I'm living in my giant suitcase. One of the two.
Well, she has a room. Oh, you think she's used to sleeping outside because she sleeps in the giant suitcase?
Yeah, look at me. I sleep in the rain.
Mike, she's a free spirit, man.
What? Steubing said, "This is not allowed. I beg to differ. Paul Williams did it. You didn't say anything to Paul Williams."
And she air-butted him. She's like, "Is there a rule against it?" And he's like, "Well, no."
No. Yeah, she asked to see the rules against it and then just lies down with a blanket. Yeah, tell your story walking with your round head.
Who says dogs can't play basketball, Steubing? It's highly irregular.
Well, who says they can't?
Yeah.
Monroe. The captain apologizes for being rude during his palm reading. He says he was hoping that she would promise him romance in his future. Wait a minute. That's why he was mad, because she didn't promise romance from her in his That's why he was mad? I didn't put this in context till now.
In this endeavor that I do not believe in, I do not like what you said.
I didn't get the fake answer that I wanted, that I don't believe in, but I sort of do. But he's like, but I realized that was a silly wish. That was your wish? I wish she would tell me that my future has love with her and my future. Oh my God, you're crazy. You're crazy.
He's just a hopeless romantic, Mike.
I guess that's that non-alcohol talking. You know what I mean?
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah, no captain's table this week for the first time in a long time.
Nothing.
Yeah.
They didn't eat. All they had was balloons. They spent all the food on the balloon wall money.
It's true. There was no food. They ordered that heart of palm, but we never saw it.
I didn't see anybody eting. All I saw was Francis drinking and then almost breaking his neck because he was drinking.
Oh, you know what? That's not true, actually, though. There was a like a 5-course breakfast.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah. Getting a little ahead of myself there.
Yep.
Maria says that underneath Captain Steubing's starched exterior is a sloppy romantic dying to get out.
He just loves love. Says,
"I'm a dizzy girl who spent the day trying to get him to notice her. Hey, knock, knock, who's there? He notices you. Okay? Are you kidding me? She's rubbing your head. Stop it. Come on.
Wait, are you the guy who rubbed his head in the middle of the deck?
Like, what? Aren't you him saying, oh, I've studied phrenology? What? This woman is just a pain in the rear. They smooch, and Steubing lies on the lounge chair next to her, and they hold hands.
He falls asleep immediately. His eyes are closed.
Who can sleep in that tuxedo? And his eyes are closed like a baby.
Dude, he's asleep
being mysterious.
15 seconds.
Go back to your cabin. He needs someone to go, get up, go. What do you?
Yeah, I have to work in the morning.
Holding hands, and we go to break. We're back. Isaac's waking up sleepy Steubing at 5:30 a.m. It didn't look like 5:30 a.m. I'm going to be honest with you. It looked about like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Budget. He tells Steubing he has to be on the bridge in 20 minutes and he won't have time for breakfast, which I would imagine is the worst thing to tell Captain Steubing when you wake him up. And this is where
Cruise canceled.
Cruise, get everyone overboard. He jumps right off the ship. No. This is a major issue for Steubing, and this is when I was thinking, Mike. Well, this obviously is one of the main priorities in Steubing's life. So I put top 3 priorities of Steubing's life: breakfast, afternoon donuts,
right,
followed by the love of illusions and magic in a close third. It's almost 2 silvers and a gold. Mike, it turns out Maria has breakfast ready for him. Where is it hidden? No, it's right in front of him. It's right in front of him.
Yeah,
I don't know how he didn't see it.
Smell breakfast coming.
You can't smell coffee on a windless morning.
Also, What time does Isaac's shift end? You think midnight?
He
Probably.
never leaves. Last call
He's
at
gotta get up
4.
at 5 to serve this son of a bitch breakfast.
He doesn't sleep. Yeah, he's just like Universal Soldier. He just packs himself in ice every 3 days, and he goes 20. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, how does Subing not see her, hear her, smell food? You know, it's good. It's good that our captain's got reflexes of a cat when he's sleeping. I want a deep sleeping captain when they sleep outside. That's what I want. Yeah.
At best, he did not get a great night's sleep. Isn't this how the Exxon Valdez happened?
Oh, he's in a deep sleep, just drooling. Isaac's like, get a hold of yourself, Stubing. Wake up, bro. He just kicked his chair to wake him up. Wake up.
Yo!
Come on. So dumb.
Oh, God.
Francis and Rowena wake up from the potential neck injury that Francis has suffered. They find their parents gone. While freaking out, they realize they spent the night together. And Francis gives Rowena a very awkward smooch on the cheek.
Yep.
That's a weird darling. Next morning smooch on the cheek. That's a weird move.
Oh, plus that is 4 bottles of booze morning breath.
Oh, you can just smell the nitrates coming out of the wine.
I think based on how drunk they were acting, these two do not drink a lot. That is a lethal hangover
headache
they are going to be working with. And they somehow are zipping around the boat all K. You know,
they didn't have any carbs. All they had were hearts of palm and crab legs. There's nothing to soak up wine. No bread. Hold the bread, please.
Yeah. And plus, as you said, he's got a spinal injury too.
Yeah, he can't. All the liquid just rolls down the back of his spine now. Doesn't even go to his stomach. He's just completely misaligned. I dodged a bullet, but I've encountered another unexpected
bullet. The floor
bullet.
is wasted in that cabin.
just spinal fluids all on the floor. They don't know why. Just
spinal fluid and Trambui.
With his rollaway neck. They run out the door to find Ned and Molly, who are arguing in the lobby for some reason. Molly's telling Ned that his son's a wimp, which Molly doesn't play that. Like, Molly appreciates a man's man. Like, don't. Yep. And Ned argues that Molly's daughter is, quote, finicky and dried up. Mike, I had to look up dried up. And I wanted to be clear what that meant. Dried up meaning old, dull, or shriveled.
Oof.
That's a rough.
So is it like that? You think that's like shorthand for old maid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just don't hear anybody call, I never hear people saying someone is dried up these days. Like, I wouldn't use that in a Zoom meeting.
No, that'd be a weird tact to take.
Like, oh man, why you got to be so dried up?
You're
That's
a real
how I would use it. That's how I would use it. You're being a real Rowena.
From season 2, episode 20.
So the wedding is off. Sylvia tells the crew about the roses and how excited she is. She's going to wait in her cabin until her secret admirer shows up. Let her, Gopher. Quit playing. I mean, not to quote a famous sort of R&B song, but hey, quit playing games with my heart. Am I right? Gopher feels bad. Julie tells him he's being cruel by filling her room with roses. He's like, what? Doc is convinced that she made up the rose thing as an excuse to stay in her cabin. Boy, nobody. Why don't they just why don't they just go in the cabin?
But good for Doc at least to present other potential scenarios.
Yes.
Gopher at no point says, guys, I only sent the one flower to the table. If she's got flowers in the room, that isn't me. If she doesn't have flowers in the room, she's crazy. So why is Gopher taking the bullet here?
Why wouldn't he go, where the hell would I get 100 roses?
I have no money. I'm broke all the time. I still owe Harry Morgan $300.
Well, and the rose I gave her, I had grown that one from a sapling in my room. I don't have room for anything else. Like, what are you talking about?
I mean, yes, I'm dating a supermodel.
Yeah, she's on my wall. Yes. But this was the out. They could have been like, all right, enjoy your cruise. Like,
this is
bye-bye.
where this is where I actually realized that this was not a good storyline, because
No.
just this giant piece, all you have to say is that, or have him try to say it or whatever, but like there's no reason why Gopher would not say that in that moment.
Yeah. No, I agree. Um, Yeah, so she feels bad. So Rowena takes Molly to see Doc because she isn't feeling well. Francis said Ned is resting in the cabin because his arthritis is acting up.
Yeah, he's old.
Looks like these old folks are breaking down,
Yep.
Woo.
Yep.
I mean, if anybody needs to go see the doctor, it's probably Francis. I mean, right? Like, what do we saw his accident.
Oh my God.
Good. Look, he's compressed all of his vertebrae.
We really should have got another episode of Bricker. I mean, that was
I hope Francis comes back and does some sort of like physical bit, kind of like that chef in Sesame Street when he would walk down like 9 banana cream pie every week. I'd see Francis almost break his neck.
We've seen a lot of stunts this season. That may have been the best one, and I don't think it was on purpose.
Because it was real.
Yes.
He later sued the Love Boat and Spellings.
That's why he's never been back.
Rowena and Francis decide to dance the night away. Good luck when your spine doesn't work, sir. At the Lido Deck dance party. Second event, 2 nights in a row in the Lido Deck.
Pretty unspecific party. Like it's just
music.
Generic.
It's outside music, basically. It's not like they had like an ice sculpture or something, something thematic.
This boat, when they're not doing disco, they love a clarinet this season. There's just been a lot of
really do. Eric Estrada's like, I'm only
that we've had a few times, but it's in the family.
They throw it. Yeah. Eric Estrada's like, I'm available.
Yep.
You want some slow sax? Just let me know. Working for the Highway Patrol now, but let me know. They're dancing away. They go to Isaac for champagne. He asks where their parents are, saying they seem so alive when they're together. Way to go. Rowena says, what have we done? And Francis says, we did the wrong thing. Boom, dramatically we go to break.
I mean, I will say this. They did not hang around too long on that. Like, it was just like, it was a very efficient storyline.
Yeah, they're moving.
So, yep.
You know what's funny? As I talk about that storyline, I don't dislike it as much as I did.
I thought that was the best one the first time I watched it. I thought it was the best one the second time I watched it.
I agree. Oh, I thought it was the best one.
Yeah.
Not that that's saying a lot, but I honestly, as we're talking about it, I feel like I enjoyed it way more than I initially thought.
Because you can do the thing where the people are annoying as hell in the beginning if you're going to redeem them at the end. But what happens on this show a lot is it's 35 minutes of annoying and 5 minutes of
2
redemption.
seconds.
This was actually like they did not linger, and I thought that was very helpful.
It was a balance. I like the balance in the storyline.
Yeah.
We're back, and Sylvia's at the dance party on the Lido Deck, and Doc's doing this sort of cross-country skiing dancing thing. I don't know what he's doing.
Was that not the Latin hustle?
I don't know. I tell you, they would dance crazy in the 70s. It just anything goes.
It just doesn't matter. It's all just full body heaves.
Like, plug your ears. You don't even need to hear the music. Just throw yourself around.
And this is like in the shadow of Debbie Allen last week. Who's like
she's
the greatest dancer this show's ever had. It's just like
unreal. Gopher tells Sylvia he sent the roses. You got to be careful here, because he wanted her to have the confidence to mingle and find her man. He apologizes. This is so sad. Sylvia says, don't worry. People like her don't get roses. And she apologizes for being so much trouble. While we see the stalker, again, not saying anything, just creepily watching this whole scene go by.
Come on, Monroe, get in there.
Back to Francis and Rowena. They feel really bad. And they go get their parents from the cabin, inviting them to the Lido Deck dance party. And apparently that's all it took.
Yep.
Francis is a real man now, and I love Rowena.
Yep. All good. That's
all is well, and everybody's happy. Okay.
Yes.
Except Sylvia, who's crying alone in the moonlight when Steubing and Maria walk by. Maria offers to give her a palm reading. Really? That's what you do when you see
What else
a
you
woman
got?
crying by herself. Let me see your palm. I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'll give you something to be sad about. Like what? What is just terrible?
I'll tell you one thing. I would have grabbed her palm to make sure that she didn't throw herself over the rail because
No
that's what
kidding.
it felt like. So.
Yeah, if you see someone crying alone very late at night in like a secluded part of the ship, nice timing on the palm reading. Sylvia responds, quote, "I already know my past and there's nothing special about my future." Damn, Sylvia. Damn.
And then the captain of this boat, charged with the safety of 600 passengers and umpteenth crew people, sees this woman who is crying and says she's got nothing in her future standing by the rail of a boat. And she's like, all right, well, back to smooching. I got to go.
He doesn't care. He wants bald head rubs, smooches, and perhaps another snack. He doesn't care. Although Sylvia does reluctantly stick out her palm. Yeah, Captain Steubing, like, doesn't give two crap. Yeah, no, tell your story walking, Maria.
The paperwork alone, Meryl, would bury you. You have a week off next week.
And what did he win an award for again? The best what?
Captain of the Year.
Yeah. Because, if you're a captain of the year, ignore any upset passengers hanging out by the rail late at night. Sylvia reluctantly
tried to kill herself. Wasn't as suicidal.
No kidding.
Sylvia was.
How's he winning an award? They had a guy with a gun on the boat. You know what I mean? You had two people jump off the boat. We need a deep dive. Somebody needs to do an investigation. Sylvia does reluctantly stick out her palm. Maria says she sees a man with roses. No, you didn't, Maria. No, you didn't. Sylvia thinks Gopher told her to say that. Uh-oh. Mike, the stalker's going to come up and say something now. He's finally going to say something. Monroe. He comes up and introduces himself. He asks if she liked the roses, which is a little creepy. Like, how did you like the roses in your room, Monroe?
All those roses.
Gopher sent the one at dinner, but he sent the stalker level number of roses filling her cabin.
Yeah.
He's been trying to talk to her. No, he hasn't been trying to talk to her.
No.
But she's always been with Gopher. No, she hasn't.
Hey, here's an opening.
Yeah.
That's a lot of roses you got there.
Yeah. Hey, guess you're not allergic to plants. Like, what do you, I don't even know.
Like roses. What did you just win the Kentucky Derby?
Imagine if she was like highly allergic and she went to like shock and then she passed away in that room.
That's why I think in my head, he waited till the initial roses.
Oh, okay.
If he had led with this, absolutely dangerous move.
Absolutely. Sylvia explains that Gopher's her friend from home and he's like a brother. Is he? He thought he was your neighbor. He's not like a brother. He's like a neighbor.
That's what you say when you're trying to make sure that the guy doesn't think you're dating him.
I'll tell you what. If someone's acting like a brother, they're not buying their sister a rose. I promise you that. They're going to be supportive and not. Anyway.
Well, I guess you don't want to say, and he has no interest in me sexually. That's bad advertising.
That's really putting it out there, too.
Yeah, yeah. So,
the shy man stalker is relieved, and the two dance in the moonlight. Okay. Madame Marie is in the captain. Monroe.
If he's ever on this show, we're done. We're never going to be able to do a show.
We're not going to be able to do anything. Madame Maria's in the captain's office. He's trying to seal the deal. If he's got the book of shipwrecks out.
Well, it's interesting. So this was the old big captain's office.
Yes, it was.
So my new theory is that he has a daytime tiny office, and then he's got the office attached to his quarters.
Yeah.
And I think that makes sense. I can live with that. So,
second week in a row, somebody's told to close your eyes for a surprise. As we covered last week with Amin, if somebody ever tells you, close your eyes, I have a surprise, I'm looking 100% of the time.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I'm
going to say I can't see, but I can see. It's like that trick when you were a kid. They go, close your ears. And you go, and they go, can you hear me? And you'd go, no. It's that old thing.
Yeah.
100% of the time, I'm never closing my eyes. No way. When she opens it, especially for this one, if I close my eyes and this was the surprise I was waiting for, was Captain and his stupid toupee on his head.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing. It's just mangled fur.
Yeah, it's all nice. What animal did that come from?
That is one of the
Meryl?
worst toupees I've ever seen in my entire life.
It looked like a dead squirrel. It was just really.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, he bought it to try to feel young. You bought it. You look stupid. It's dumb. I always joke that I was going to get one, but it's just ridiculous, man.
Based on those flashbacks we saw earlier in the season, if you just want to feel young, you should have darkened up them sides.
That's all you need. A little shoe polish.
Yeah.
Little soy sauce on the old temples.
The
reverse Reed Richards.
What did Stacey Stubing do to him? She just ruined that man.
I don't know. It's. And Stacey Stubing had a very specific look, and what I mean is side part, you know what I mean? And I just wonder, that's not fair to talk about. She's not here. I don't want to talk too bad about her. He bought it to try to feel young, but meeting Maria has done more than fake hair could ever do. Whoa, and he loves her, and she loves him too.
Because it's been 2 days.
It's been 2 days. Maria realized, whoa, hold on. Pump the brakes, Meryl. She's like, whoa, wait a minute. She's like, I'm better at romance than relationships.
Yeah.
She's like, I can't be with you. Commitment's not my thing.
It's not my long suit.
So, of course, Stubing's just crying now when he walks away. He's just lost. Magic's not real. Love's not real. Donuts aren't real.
It's highly irregular.
This is not. He's 2 finger saluting himself while he's crying. He doesn't know what to do.
Cannot compute.
Francis and Rowena are leaving the ship with their parents. Doc announces his wedding special: 2 blood tests for the price of 1.
The old blood tests.
It's still so weird to me.
Yeah.
Double wedding, but separate honeymoons because Fred snores too loud. You'd snore too if you broke your neck. That's not snoring. He's groaning in pain.
He's slowly dying.
I was just like, "What? No, that was the snapping of his vertebrae. That's not snoring." Poor Francis does his own stuff. I feel like we're watching The Fall Guy. This is great. Wow, this is a great episode. I've really, R.I.P. Francis's neck. Oh, I love this. Is one of the best episodes I've seen. I've completely reversed course on this episode. It's amazing. In the last hour and 27 minutes, I don't even know which way's up and which way's down anymore. I've just talking about this made me love this episode. Maria exits the ship before she can see Captain or see Stubing, but leaves a card with Julie. The old, give this to this person for me while I leave the ship, but I don't really leave the ship.
And Julie's like, well, I know there's probably a bunch of people I should be checking out or doing stuff, but I'm going to go track Stubing down immediately and give him this note.
Because priorities,
Right. Yeah.
Sylvia and the shy guy leave the boat together, and we're just going to leave the roses there? You throw them overboard with the ketchup? Like, what are you doing with the roses?
That's a good point. You wouldn't at least take some of them?
You're going to put that poor cleaning woman's got to clean up after a Yorkshire Terrier last week, and now got to clean up the remnants of
I hope
old,
it's the
dry
same room
roses.
And they can just quarantine that thing,
Just leave it. The note that Maria left said she had a wonderful time and that she loves him, speaking of Stubing, and apologizes for running off like a coward, but goodbyes are not her thing.
Long suit.
Except she didn't leave.
Well, you know why? She's got to drag that big-ass trunk all the way down the steps.
She's trying to get back in the trunk. It's a 2-man job. She's like, I really need Meryl to put me back in the trunk.
See, that would have been great.
That would have been good.
If he had tripped over the box looking for her.
That would have been good. Just to tie it all together.
Yep.
She says something about taking a job in the gift shop, but I thought that's where the work release girl worked.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that at the time. So in the office, Stubing's trying to get her to stay, and he's like, you could perform on the ship for a little bit longer, which at least made sense. And then he's trying to stash her in the gift shop, which poor Stephanie, I guess she's fired.
Maybe.
But Stubing is literally just sticking women in the gift shop in case he needs one for the road. Come on,
Or maybe
girl.
it's more sinister. Maybe he feels like that's the only thing a woman is capable of doing on a cruise ship is working in the gift shop. Ooh.
Ship
Yeah,
director.
I guess you
Ship
could work in the
director.
cruise shop. Cruise shop. I mean,
Ship
sorry, the
director.
gift shop.
Gift shop. It's like
Yeah,
that.
like what? How about bartender? You could
Nope.
wait tables. You could no.
Cleaning
You can work
woman.
in the gift shop.
Yeah. Cleaning woman, Charo,
Yeah.
service industry.
Come on,
Yeah.
Steubing. But Steubing said you'd hate it. He loves her enough to let her go, and with teary eyes, he bids her adieu.
They really like
But
make out like all the
yeah,
arms are in there and everything. It was like
they're
aggressive.
trying to sell that this is like going to
The
be
greatest love
something,
story ever
you know.
told. Yeah.
But then he tells her, "Well, I do have a week off," and then they just smooching again,
Yeah.
and that was it. That's how they just pulled the cord on the
Yeah,
episode.
they don't even freeze frame that baby. That's
Nothing.
credits over the
Or
smooching.
give me that shot, give me that, and that's the episode, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that was abrupt, I guess.
Wow.
In a way to say that was abrupt. Yeah, but Steubing trying to be the bigger man and letting her go for a person that he met 2 days ago, and said it before.
Yeah.
We don't know where Murphy lives full time. I don't know if she's
anything.
I don't know if she's an
Yes.
actual like carnival performer where she's traveling the world or whatever. But
Well, not if she's a palm reader not if she has if those are her skills at palm reading.
Now the interesting thing will be Steubing earlier in this season proclaimed his love for that married woman who was married to Dr. Todd.
That's right.
She comes back next season at some point. So we have not seen Julie in a romance since Jack Chenault left.
The dad.
Since Jack Chenault left, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
but we know he comes back. So I guess I'm saying I want to see how those are handled.
Wait,
Speaking of,
isn't Vicky come in
the middle
of next season? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of, this was late breaking before we started recording. Tony Roberts passed away this weekend. Jack Chenault himself. So R.I.P.
Yeah.
So
I saw that. I was bummed about that.
Yeah. So glad that we'll see him early in season 3 for the opener. But I'll be curious to see how they handle the I've missed you this whole time. Meanwhile, Meryl's getting his palm read in every room of the ship.
Oh, he's got a lady feeding him grapes in one and a palm thing over here, rubbing his head. And he's
the prince. The princess guy shows up. It's was it Otto? He shows back up, and he's like, "Hey, listen, was checking your books. You have 17 employees at the gift shop." So
yeah, something fishy going on. We need to look at their W4.
But yeah, that was a quick episode. Totals and a recap. Okay, so when we wrapped up last week, you and Amin had both mistakenly watched this episode.
Yeah.
And you were not confident that you could call episode 45 that we just did. 45, right? Yeah, that was last week.
Yeah.
I thought that was the worst episode. You said we should hold our jets for this one. You had originally had the 90-minute Reggie Jackson Dreamgirls episode as the worst. I feel like this was definitely better than last week, but I think we're in this situation now where there's just a lot of episodes that could be the worst episode at this point.
I agree.
This back half of the season is getting pretty bad.
I agree. And as I sort of mentioned before too, I think the more time I've spent with this episode, the more I kind of enjoyed the episode.
Yeah.
It wasn't egregious like the 90-minute episode to me is still the worst.
Yeah.
Just because that extra but I can say with confidence that this is not.
Yeah.
This is not the best and it is not the worst. It's somewhere it's tracking on the lower side, but it's not the worst episode.
We have 4 episodes left, and I think unless something happens, which could very well happen because the worst episode last year came right at the end. I think unless something happens, I think unless something happens, we may just have to actually table this conversation for the awards.
I agree.
And have that discussion then, because nothing's clear.
I mean, we
because
can
I can
always say like, well, this
still,
one's in the running, so we have
yeah,
like four
yeah,
or five that we're shuffling through to be like,
right.
okay,
I
but
can
it is tough.
still make an argument that Pepito's the worst one. We've passed that one a long time ago. So I think unless something happens here, we probably
Yeah.
just have a larger discussion. Now I will say the best episode 3, has not been challenged at all this
Nope.
season. So
Nope. Yeah, not a fan of the Pepito episode, but a huge fan of the Pepito drinking game that came from the
true.
episode. So
That is true. So maybe that'll just be a fierce debate, or maybe we'll just have 4 terrible episodes to end this season. So
well, it's funny.
we'll
You would think like when we're watching, let's just say an episode's coming up, and it's widely regarded as the worst, right?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily know if you and I are going to go, yep, that's absolutely the worst.
Oh, I agree.
You know what I mean? Like, I
agree.
think it's weird because where's the bar versus our own expectations? Because, I mean, I don't think I'm going out on a limb by saying that we probably know more about the Love Boat at this point than like 97% of anybody else.
Anyone should, yes.
Right. So as we do it, it'll be interesting to me to look at episodes that were received as being bad, because I want to see how we received it, because we have a lot more context going into these evaluations as well. So
yeah, I agree.
It'll be interesting to see what happens. And again, I'm waiting for something terrible. Like it'll be the second to last episode's going to be.
Last year it was the second to last episode. It was the Annette Funicello episode, which was
like a dumping. Imagine if it's the same thing. She's back. It's just a different book this time. Oh.
Captain of the Week. Who was the best this week?
Well, I didn't know going into. I thought I would, and I have to say, for no other reason than him surviving. I'm going to say Francis and his neck. Jeez.
Francis was excellent.
We could have seen, a Bill Bixby wheelchair as a result of or a new Francis in the next scene.
But yeah. Just an abrupt new Francis. So
poor Francis. Francis strong.
Yeah. I will go with Minnie Pearl. But as a representative of that whole storyline, I thought that was really good. But she was the best. And like I said, between her booze plan and the subtle Howdy, I just thought it was good. And like I said, it was the best version of not overstaying your welcome, which doesn't always happen in those kind of storylines. So I
feel like she knew where to get in and where to get out.
Yeah, like, and that's what happens when you and that's what happens when you have skilled performers too, right? Like, so
I feel like if we had an all-star team, like for each season, if there was an all-star team, I feel that Minnie Pearl would really be a strong contender.
The best old category has heated up these last few weeks.
Yeah,
I will say that we were probably pretty thin early, but worst of the week, walk the plank.
It's got to be Steubing, man. Just his the sleeping on the deck, not seeing you would think that a captain would A, not be a heavy sleeper, and B, notice when someone is setting up an elaborate breakfast with dishes right in front of him.
Yeah.
He just was such a, come on, man. Act like you've been there before. It's just,
I'll probably go, I don't disagree. I'll probably go Monroe. Just because, like we said, at some point, this is the Love Boat. This is like not hitting on somebody at a bar, but buying her 40 drinks and not following up on it.
No kidding. And waiting till the last day to say something.
And that's your thing too, right? And I guess that's a very like passive move. It worked, but she also almost jumped off the side of the boat, so maybe it didn't work.
Maybe.
And you also probably could have stepped in quicker to help Gopher out a little bit too. So I
agree. But I also think they should have done that storyline you talked about.
Yeah.
That's how it should have been.
It's not that different either.
It would have made it so much better.
And that's totals and a recap for this week.
I checked the old mailbag. We do not have any new emails this week, Mike.
Boo.
But we do have some plugs, I believe.
Oh, Lord. Somebody's got props. Wow.
Mike, every sports fan agrees. The internet's number one problem? Not enough Phillies content. That's why I want all of our listeners Crack open a beer and enjoy a weekly Phillies happy hour with Chris Jones, Justin Clue, and our very own Mike Robertson. Check out Hitting Season on Patreon. Absolutely hammered.
Wow, that was quite a plug. Thank you. No,
Well,
I appreciate that.
Baseball season's right around the corner. Don't be left in the lurch and not know what's going on.
That's true. That is true.
Once a week.
I'm much. I'd like to say I'm much more positive about the Phillies than I am about the show, but sometimes it's not the case. So.
Sometimes, no, I get it.
Yeah.
Because when I want Phillies knowledge, I turn that show on because as baseball season approaches,
for you people not watching,
I want to be up to date.
Taking up Phillies.
I want to be up to date with all of my Phillies updates.
It's a lot of Phillies hats.
I've got every Phillies hat. Yeah, I got every one.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
100% on board now. But I had to wait for the Yankees being in the World Series to make the
Gotcha.
As soon as the Yankees made the World Series, I went to MLB Shop and I went, give me every Phillies hat.
Yep.
Every cap.
That makes
so
sense.
That's where I am now. Go Phillies.
Well, wait, since we're plugging other stuff, do you want to plug your fish appearance?
I will be appearing. I'm not sure when.
I don't have any fish hats. Sorry.
I have one fish hat.
Yeah.
I will be appearing on a show called Crowd Control on Sirius XM Radio. Sirius XM's Fish Radio. So stay tuned for that. Also, you can find us everywhere you find your audio podcast: iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict, Amazon Music, Podchaser, Player FM, and of course, the greatest of them all, Deezer. I hope we get some Deezer money. We're really pumping up Deezer.
How long before we start getting Deezer ads? I mean, or honestly, Minnie Pearl's Chicken Restaurant, if you want to come back and make an ad. And I saw the commercial you guys ran in the 60s. It was not that great.
Was that the How Delicious?
It was like this family eating, but it's funny. The restaurant looked like somebody's dining room. I don't know if that was
with like paneling.
It was hard to tell. It was so dark, and it's obviously a very old video on YouTube, so it was hard to tell. The voice was good. There was some home cooking, some chicken with the delectable herbs and spices. And then it turns out the chicken was terrible, but
I feel like it's one of those restaurants that would have like wall-to-wall carpeting. Ew.
Oh God, at a chicken restaurant too in the 60s. Yeah.
Like long carpet. Ew.
Yeah.
You can check out our video podcast on YouTube. Please hit that subscribe button and leave us a review. It goes a long way. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook. Look for weekly reels and updates.
Yeah, I think we're back on a consistent reel schedule. Not going to lie, it was a little hectic here this year, but we're getting out there and pretty happy with one came out a few weeks ago for the Reggie Jackson episode, which I know Mike was a big fan of Mr. Jackson. So
big fan. Next episode 47, Mike. Leslie Nielsen's back. That's a good thing.
Great.
Third time around.
Is it though? I mean, he's been kind of underwhelming the first two appearances.
I say it with enthusiasm because I'm like, it's gotta be. Can we get the real Leslie Nielsen on this one? Please. Come on.
You would hope that they would, and we're still pre-airplane.
Yeah, he's not going to do this.
And maybe we're just expecting something that isn't going to be there. But yeah, but it would be funny if he's tired again.
I'm almost expecting like an episode of Police Squad just because I see him, and maybe that's not fair, but he was so tired last time. It was very disappointing. Yeah. The dangers of building model ships. Yes.
Not to steal your thunder. Speaking of old people, you know who else is back?
Who?
I was going to say, speaking of old people, not to steal your thunder, do you know who else is back next week?
No, I don't. Who's back?
So do you have the thing about what Julie's storyline is for next week or not?
Yeah, about a 13-year-old is in love with her. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently a teenager's in love with Julie, but Julie's got the hots for an older man.
Oh, no.
That older man? We haven't seen him since they carted his carcass off the boat in episode 18. That's right, Paul Burke's back.
Oh, really?
The man who died.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, you knew Julie had the hots for him.
Yeah, but I didn't. Wow. If you were going to say somebody's
I'm
coming back, the
excited.
first word out of my mouth, my first name out of my mouth wouldn't have been Paul Burke.
Yeah. Yeah. There's your balance.
Wow.
I don't think she's coming back.
No.
I don't think he's coming back as the character.
No, I know, but
Yeah.
Not my favorite character.
Anyway, I'm excited.
Well, it looks like
I'm
we
excited.
did it.
I want to see if he's any
excited
good
too.
or not, because that whole
Well, we'll
storyline was
see.
so weird.
Yeah, it was. Give him another shot at it. Why not? I mean,
Yeah.
they're giving Leslie Nielsen a third shot at it. He can't be worse than his
Plus,
first
we
two
haven't
appearances.
had. We actually have not. Yeah. We have not had a lot of Julie episodes this season.
No, I'm fine with it.
So I'm happy to see a Julie episode. It does feel like she's done a lot less than last year.
I agree. All right. Well, we did it. Episode 46 is in the books. Until next time, Mike, thank you again. And go Phillies.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining.